everyone. Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, alongside four-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath. Speaking of four-time Mr. Olympia, I went online and, people were tweeting me like, what do you think of who won? And, people know we hung out together 3 weeks before, and I'm like, well, I think Phil won because such, and such. Symmetry, and I think you just beat him overall if you look at all angles. And people come on, and Kai has some really, really, really enthusiastic fans.
Absolutely.
We'll give him, your fans are friggin' fanatics. Now, obviously with the Olympia, just two things, just real quick. How'd you feel about your Mr. Olympia win? How'd it feel to win the Olympia 4 times? That means it wasn't a fluke. And also, afterwards, how'd you feel about, let's take away the good stuff, because obviously you have your fans. How does it feel to have such fanatics on the other side, and how do you cope with that?
I think essentially winning the Olympia, like I've said numerous times, the first time is, complete, bliss. I mean, you're just like, wow, I actually reached the mountaintop. The second time is very, very nerve-wracking because you're hoping you're not a one-hit wonder, right? That third time is to help solidify a dynasty, and I was able to do that. Going to the fourth time, you kind of realize that now it's about enjoying the journey. It's about what you make of it to keep a steady run and make a streak out of this. The last person to actually make it a streak of 4 in a row was Ronnie Coleman. Yeah. So, I had to really try to make it fun for myself, because I knew that people will set up certain barriers that are rooting for the other guys, right? So for me, I kept thinking, okay, the opportunity that I have is to make this fun. How am I going to make this fun? Well, in a so-called 7-game series or World Series or basketball or baseball, it's a 7-game series, right? What's the coolest thing about a series is that 4-zip is a sweep. And that's what I started hashtagging Operation Clean Sweep. And it wasn't necessarily to demean anybody. It was just to let myself know this is what you're working for. You want to remind yourself that if you beat these guys 4 years in a row on that Olympia stage, it is clear as day that you were substantially better. And that's what I trained for, and that's what I was able to do. Obviously, the top 3 was really intense. I thought Sean Roden actually looked really good, and I actually had him second.
I had him second as well, which a lot of people got mad at.
At the end of the day, people are going to get mad, right? When their person wins, they're totally excited. They're talking about how great that person is, and this and that. When their favorite guy loses, it's all politics and BS. The fact of the matter is that you have a lot of judges that actually have judged all of us, where I wasn't always winning. So for people that will negate, the level of hard work and dedication and what I earned, to say, oh, it was this, it's like, first of all, you weren't there, and you definitely weren't sitting where those judges were, and you just don't have the eye. And when you're going off a fragment of a second on a picture, people will know, like, that have seen me up close will say the same thing, which is Phil's muscles actually pop in 3D, whereas on a picture, it's not 3D. So when you're watching it even on a streamed webcast, it's not 3D. So I've noticed even like the higher the quality of the video, the better. When you're watching it on a web stream as opposed to the actual DVD. And that's, what's funny is that not one person has actually bought the Olympia DVD and actually uploaded it to show clips of that contest or screen captures. Because if they were to do that, it's professionally done, they would actually see it clear as day.
Yeah.
And we don't see that, right? Because first of all, everybody's usually spooled off of the YouTube internet.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy anything. So they're not going to do their due diligence, but yet they're going to say this, that, and the other. Essentially, the judges found it, me being the victor. Was I at my all-time best? Hell no. The goal is to be as best as you can to beat the opposition. Now, if you want to compare me to previous years, okay, go right ahead. But guess what? You're comparing me against myself.
Yeah.
So, and that's actually what I do too. Fortunately, I was able to win. Moving forward, I can only pay attention to so much of the negative, right? After winning 4 years in a row, would you really, if you were in my shoes, would you really listen? No. And if you did listen, would you not have a smirk on your face and laugh at them? Absolutely. I'm not necessarily laughing at Kai or Sean or Dennis Wolf or Branch Warren or any of these guys. I'm reminding myself that my hard work is being awarded. as the #1 bodybuilder in the world. And I'm going to have great pride going into 2015, realizing that, not saying, well, I wasn't at my all-time best and I still won, so I can just hang back and not train hard and this and that. That wasn't the case. Sometimes peaking on a 2-day show is very, very difficult. It's extremely difficult. I've been able to, my off is still good enough, thank God. Whereas other guys, they have to be 100% all the time. And we also have seen a lot of guys just aren't at their best on that Olympia stage because of nerves. The nerves are amazing. Yes. It's the 50th. There's 10,000 tickets sold weeks before the show. The whole, glamour and glitz of the Olympia, it will ruin you. The lights are heavier with those LED screens. Those screens produce heat beyond imagine than the Arnold Classic, the New York Pro, any of these other pro shows could ever imagine. You'd be surprised. Like, we are dying up there. So there's a lot that goes on with it, and just the overall pressure. I know for myself, from the press conference, having to deal with all that madness, to keep my composure throughout that process, to make sure that I still had a job to do. And I got the job done, and I'm very, very pleased with the fact that I got the win. Sometimes you're gonna, make it uglier than what it was, and other times not so much. But the goal is always to win. You win by a point, you win. Fortunately, I haven't had 1 point against me in all 4 wins, and that's something that I can remind myself, saying I have an opportunity going in next year to be better than 2014.
Well, that's awesome. So, the thing is that we got to realize, and I judge, I don't know if you've judged shows before, but if you sit even in the 5th row versus the judging table, and I saw you at the gym 3 weeks out, and I saw you on video because I couldn't make the show, I had a meeting, but I saw the stream. Unless you changed into a different person, the quality and what you see is 100% off. It's not even close to what the judges are seeing. You can't see the skin. You can't see the definition. You can't see the conditioning. So to say from a live stream that such and such was better conditioned than this guy, unless it's like a fat dude versus a skinny dude, it's really hard to say. And also, just because you're a fan of somebody, it doesn't mean you have to discount someone else's hard work. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, sure, Kai's like, you know what? I might disagree, but he won. And he's a gentleman about that. I'm sure. I haven't really seen much.
I just think that it comes down to the fact that his fans are awesome.
Yeah.
And they really support the guy, and I can't even hate on them.
No.
The only thing I would say is, man, my fans are better because there's less cheap hits below the belt.
Yeah.
There's more facts than fiction, and there's really more supporters because they don't have to say anything. The proof is in the performance. The proof is in the standouts that are in my house. Kai's an amazing bodybuilder, and I've always said that. He's definitely going to go down as a Hall of Famer. He already is. For sure. He and I both collectively, along with the other guys, have risen the game level of bodybuilding. I think tremendously, actually. This year in particular, you saw, I don't even want to say good versus evil. I want to say 2 guys that were highlighted in an Olympia that made people on the edge of their seat. Just guys that want it really bad. And, it's going to continue, I think, but I have to stand true to the game, bodybuilding, realizing that, I'm always going to be professional. I'm always going to do my very best. I'm always going to acknowledge the opposition as someone who wants what I have, that is willing to train extremely hard, extremely smart to get it done. And it's my job to prevent them from being victorious. The craziest part about it is the fans, right?
Yeah.
I can't harden my heart to fans across the world by listening to the naysayers, the real nasty negative stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard it all. And it's really just to throw you off your game. So when I was playing ball in college, I still remember shooting free throws. And anyone that's ever been to a sporting event such as basketball, they are saying some of the nastiest stuff that you don't hear on the telly. And the athlete can hear it. They're talking about your mom, your dog, your girlfriend, everything, right? They're calling you even derogatory names just to make you miss that free throw to go to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament, right? I've already been conditioned for that. So when I read something and I'm just like, this guy's really weird, man. And obviously they're trying to get a reaction. I mean, you deal with it as well. When we were training, I mean, we were able to go on our Facebooks and this and that, and Instagram. People say some of the most idiotic.
In real time. It's like
in real time,
we're reading this.
Like, wow, like this person really has some issues.
Yeah.
And the same person that's saying this is actually, you know what they're doing? They're the ones that's standing on the side at the expo.
They're viewers.
They're standing on the side watching me do my thing, and then they're constantly critiquing. But yet, why not just be like, hey man, you know, I don't really like you, man, because you beat my guy.
Yeah.
But I can respect what you do. Or just not say anything at all. And I think this just comes down to how someone was raised. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing. Essentially, I'm still providing something positive for a lot of other people that may look up to me. I would never condone even a person to say, Kai, you're an asshole, you're this, you're that. He hasn't done anything to you. So when someone says, hey, Phil, you're a dick, you're a cocky ass, this and that, I'm like, wow, like, what did I really do? Really, what did I do to you? Absolutely nothing, right? The reason why you're saying this is to keep my name relevant, to understand that, okay, well, you know, who Phil Heath is in this bodybuilding world is going to be the guy that was at the pinnacle of social media. Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman didn't have that, right? So I'm going to be that guy that's at the peak of it, and it's going to be how I handle it that enables where bodybuilding goes as far as the next Mr. Olympia is concerned. Take me out of the equation, it can get really dull, in my opinion, because there's not too much that people talk about, right? So it's my job to make sure that I'm always eye on the prize, make sure I compete at as high level as I can, engage with fans, because overall, you may not be a Phil Heath fan, but you're a bodybuilding fan. You're watching this because you're a bodybuilding fan.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I understand, man. I mean, I'm going to win some of these Kai Greene fans over, and I already have. Guaranteed. I had guys come up to me at the Olympia, like, hey, man, you know, I thought you were a dick. I thought you were this and that. And I'm like, well, thanks, man. Like, you know, and then they're like, no, but after hearing you talk and seeing how you interact with fans and this and that, I totally changed my mind, or whatever I saw on Generation Iron, or whatever I thought you were. And I think that's something that I can look at as a moral victory, because what these fans have to realize is you're dealing with the same negativity out there being a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
See, the hate that you may get, it's the same hate that they probably have when they're walking around the street in a tank top. People are like, oh man, gross, this, that, and the other.
Fit shaming thing.
And it's the fit shaming thing, and they're just shaming you because you're actually successful. The goal that we have is to not let it harden your heart, to continue to push forward and to continue to say, you know what, if I try to stay up all night trying to please 100% of everyone, I lose. If I can just continue to be who I am and not really hurt anybody, both physically and mentally, I win. I will say this, I have 6 more shows I'm doing. That's it.
That's it.
That's
You got it.
That's it.
You mean that?
Oh yeah, 6 more shows, possibly 7. You kind of catch the drift.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is to embrace all of it, to engage as much as possible, both good and bad. And then when I do retire, it will be an actual retirement. And I think I'll be actually missed, whether they want to believe it or not. Well, I think I will, because of the fact of the energy that I put into it and the level of physique, but also the level of business. And most importantly, I did it with a smile on my face. And that's what I'm doing right now. Going into 2015, I mean, that's really what it's about, right? I mean, they can say strive for 5, it's time for 5, whatever, the Dynasty 5. I'm excited for this. You know, I won the Olympia last year, or this year, with my own supplement company. People were like, oh, okay, so you have your own supplement company, you really think you're gonna win now? The politics and this and that. I defeated that. How many times are these naysayers gonna be wrong and eat this crow? So now I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun, you know, we're going to have a great time. The people who are part of the Gift of Nutrition, all the fans, you know, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the guys over at Tiger Fitness, you guys, you know, pumping, you know, out the brand and really just showing people how cool this is. And it's really neat, because no one else has a bodybuilding brand like this as Mr. Olympia. No one.
No.
And for me, I wanted to make sure that I could show you that it could be done. And it's going to be done well. You know, we're going to have a lot of fun. We got a ton of new products coming out in 2015 that we're going to have available for you to sell to the fans. And we're going to put out a lot of content as well.
Well, the thing is, you talk about being missed. You're not going to be missed, because you're still going to be here.
I'm going to be around.
You're still going to be. You're not going anywhere, man.
Yeah, it's probably true. I shouldn't say it like that. Like, you know,
you might not be
my
on
partner's
stage.
over here saying, yeah.
You might not be on stage,
I'll be
but
around.
with Gifted Nutrition,
I'll be
and
around.
obviously the clothing line, with everything he has going on, I think
I probably love you guys too much to leave, right?
we have to put up with Phil for another like 30, 40 years.
Yeah, probably.
At least.
We'll see how long my biceps can stay this way.
We're the same age, so we'll probably both, if we die at similar times, probably put up both of us.
Essentially, here it is. Mark and I are both committed to you guys, whether you believe it or not. It's not just being a salesman, it's about being a businessman and showing the world that just because you have muscles don't mean you have brains as well. And we're gonna prove that consistently, time and time again. So then when people say, what do? You can say, I'm a bodybuilder, man. And you have your chest out because, you know what, it dispels a lot of negative stereotypes that you once had. That when you wake up and you're a 17-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid and your parents are like, what are you gonna do with your life? You can say, you know what? I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna, you know, lift weights. I'm gonna do bodybuilding and I'm gonna do shows. And they're gonna say, why would you do that? I want to have great health. I want to feel awesome, and there could be a career in this for me, potentially.
Well, look at Ronnie and Phil. They're college-educated individuals. Yeah. I mean, Ronnie's one of the smartest dudes. I mean, seriously.
He doesn't get a lot of credit for it.
No, he's a really intelligent. He has a degree. He graduated cum laude. I mean, he didn't just graduate with like a 2.0.
Yeah, he graduated cum laude in accounting. And what people have to realize is there's a lot of bodybuilders out there that have the knowledge such as that. We just don't get to hear their story. But being a Mr. Olympia and actually having a college degree, I mean, that says a lot. So it's upon the guys that are currently competing to actually make that next step and show the world that, you know, brains and brawn are pretty awesome. It dispels a lot of negative stereotypes. It allows people to realize, wow, there's more depth to this individual than just what we see. And that's where the cool thing about having an engagement on YouTube and different chat rooms, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, we're going to move forward with that. You know, I'm really, really excited. I mean, this is really cool to, you know, obviously, you know, a lot of people want to know about the hype between me and Kai. I'll say it really quick. It is 100% real. The hype is truly real. There is a mutual respect as far as what we both do in the gym. The level of gameplay is very, very high. On game day, as you guys saw, the gloves pretty much came off.
Yeah.
Is it acceptable? I'm gonna say for him that was, because he probably saw himself as someone who had to claw and grit and do what he had to do to get in my head. And as you guys saw, that it didn't work. And that's what a champion does. Moving forward, I have to just say, you know what? I am not just beating a Kai Greene. I am beating whoever steps on the bodybuilding stage. So it is no longer a Phil Kai Greene show. Kind of like what Sean Roden was saying at the press conference, right? It's not gonna be that anymore. I'm by myself right now. Whoever wins that Arnold Classic in 2015, that's probably gonna be the guy that I'm gonna call out and say, well, he earned the right to pretty much say that he's a contender. There's a lot of guys that are sitting out the Arnold Classic, which is kind of weird, but at the same time, I mean, you know, they have to take the demands of their sponsors and rest up and spend time with their family, I'm sure. But overall, I'm just excited that I have the guys over at Gifted Nutrition, the guys over at Flex Magazine as well, the fans, my real fans, Heath fans. You guys, I have to tell you, I love you. And 2015 is gonna be a hellacious year. It's gonna be filled with peaks and valleys, man. But the cool thing is that we come together on those 2 days at the Olympia, and we make a lot of damn noise. And I think that's what's really cool about what I like to call the Heath Nation, is that we show up physically at that Olympia. They make a lot of noise, man, and it reminds me how cool it really is to be Mr. Olympia. And now it's like, Ronnie won his first Olympia at 34. I'm 34 and 1-4. I owe it to myself to not be this sugar-coated guy and to be politically correct, because that's BS. I'm here to continue to win. I'm here to see myself get better, to potentially break this record, and to see who's gonna join with me. You know, I'm gonna do it. And that's my mindset. That's why I go to the gym every day. And love it, hate it, talk trash about it. If you want something that bad, you don't have to listen to someone and trying to say, well, you shouldn't want to break that record. That's not being humble. You freaking kidding me? You moron? Like, you're an idiot. I'm not going to prevent you or tell you and put limits on you for your dreams. That's it. I'm not going to tell a kid, well, you can only go to high school, man, because, that's it. That's it for you. You can only go to college. You can't get a master's. You can't get a master's, or you get a master's, you can't get a PhD. You can't want better. Screw that. I want better for myself, and I'm going to get it done.
That's awesome. Guys, be sure to click on the link below, all the gift and nutrition stuff, man. Thanks again for this. Dude. And, 2015, we got your back.
Absolutely.
We always got your back.
Oh, for sure. And, I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Marc, like I say, you guys, this dude, man, he talks the talk and walks the walk for the sport of bodybuilding. For you guys with health and fitness, you guys can ask this guy everything, and he actually responds to you. That's really, you gotta understand, that's saying a lot about him, because I can't always be as accessible, but he makes himself ultra accessible to not just talk about his line, my line, but the whole spectrum. Utilize it. Ask him. Because he's probably, I'm going to tell you right now, he's the only guy that can come train with me, and you're going to train with the other athletes that you guys read in these magazines. So, Marc, I really appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate it too.
Thanks, man. We'll do it again, huh? We'll do it again.
You just let us know. If you guys want it, blow up our Twitter, blow up our Facebook, blow up our Instagram. That's what we want to hear. Again, if there's no demand for it, well, maybe that didn't work out. And share this shit. Share it with all your friends. You got to share this. It is what it is. We got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. But if you like the stuff,
don't be a closet fan, man. Yeah. It's okay. It's actually all right.
Come out of the closet.
It's all right.
Phil, he says you got to come out of the closet.
Oh, man. See where he's going, man. All right, we got to go, dude. We actually, oh, man.
We got flights to catch.
It's 1 a.m. He's got a flight at 8. I got a flight at, 9. We got to get out of here, man.
We're out. All right, brother, once again. And that's not a game. Boom.